I made the mistake of deleting the audio, so the video for me doing all of this will be playing for your convenience, so you know I'm not lying, in the top right corner. But I'm just gonna go through this whole entire segment with as much enthusiasm as I possibly can for reporting and recording this shit for the second fucking time. Welcome to another episode of The Identity Booth, and we're gonna just jump into it because I said a bunch of cool things and way funnier things and way better punchlines were delivered in the first version of this podcast. But due to the fact that technology has continuously found a way to let me down when I need it the most, we're re-recording this with a little less enthusiasm because it's late, I'm parched. But let's get into it so we don't lose the opportunity. Yeah, because that thing says low battery. I'm fucked. It doesn't matter. Let's talk about the Florida. Have y'all ever played a game called Florida or Germany? Florida or Germany or Florida is a game that I remember learning about back in high school. I used to watch a show called Loveline by Adam Carolla and Dr. Drew. It was great. It was a great TV show. It talked about sex a lot and like how to handle growing up. It was my sex education, to be honest. Like that's where I learned how to use a condom and all that cool stuff. Parents, talk to your kids about sex. Get over yourself. They need to know. And it was a great show. It was really informational. But every now and then they would play this game called Germany or Florida, and they would tell you a story. And you would have to guess whether it was from Germany or Florida. And I love this game because I really, really got to learn a lot about the world's most mystifying things. Like the Florida Man effect, that is it. But basically, we have a fucking situation in what's this place called? Orlando, where two 6-year-old kids were arrested and booked and sent to jail. And you're probably thinking, what? Why did this have to happen? And it's not necessarily why. We know why. Because black kids are 60% more likely to be administered for punishment than their white counterparts. We know that socially economic places that are under the poverty line are subject to more force from law enforcement and bigger fines and penalties than their rich counterparts. We know why. But let's talk about how is this still happening. Like, it's one thing to know shit's fucked up, but then when you don't do anything about the shit that's fucked up, you're just shit on top of fucked up shit, which is just a pile of shit. Don't be a pile of shit, people. Let's fight. This 6-year-old child had what equates to a temper tantrum. 6 years old. Temper tantrum. We later find out that she was diagnosed with sleep apnea and she hasn't been sleeping well. So we have a 6-year-old who isn't sleeping well and is now being a disturbance in class. That is okay. Teachers are trained and prepared, hopefully, Betsy DeVos, to handle kids who act up. This child was acting up to the extent that she had to be removed from the class. She was sent down to the principal's office where a person, I'm not sure if this was the officer or if this was like the officer, but the person grabs the child, which is okay. Some people are complaining about this. The child can be grabbed. Like I beat kids. I put hands on kids. Put hands on your kids before they get locked up. This caused the child to kick and fight and scream and fight back. And this isn't acceptable. No one's saying that this is acceptable, but this is a child. This is a child. That person then called authorities who work with the school district. This was a retired officer of 23 or 15 years, I believe. That's a big gap, but I think it was like 15 or 23. I remembered in the first episode. But the officer came in, and you would think the officer would probably look at the person and be like, hey, we're going to put you in a corner and let's let you calm down and let's call the parents. No, this officer, Officer Turner, arrested put the child in the back seat of a cruise car, drove them down to the station, fingerprinted, mugshot them, sent them down to juvie. And it wasn't until they got to juvie that an adult, an actual adult, said something of reason. How old is this kid? To which Officer Turner replied 6. To which then this juvenile detention officer explained to him, in your laws, in your bylaws of your code of conduct and policy and procedures, you're not allowed to arrest anyone under the age of 12 without their parent. 1. 2, without telling your supervisor, which Officer Turner had done none of. So the question then becomes, what was Officer Turner's pull here? What was his plan? Did he want to show up a 6-year-old? Did you really want to cause physical harm to a 6-year-old on a psychological level? Like from a physical standpoint to a psychological level. Like, what was your beef here, kid? You are a man-child. You are a beast in an old officer's body. Was it worth it? The officer then had a chance to explain himself, to which he then replied to the grandmother, I have sleep apnea too. You don't see me causing trouble. Bitch, you are a grown-ass man. And you're probably sitting here thinking, yeah, told you. These officers don't give a fuck about black people. These officers only care about themselves, and these officers are racist, and then you find out the most disappointing part of this whole entire video, that Officer Turner is black. And that is when I have to remind people, racism is the root cause of why black people are suffering. But the thing that allows it to propagate is the culture of police brutality. They think they're above the law. They know they can't touch the people that pay their bills, so they gonna put their hands all over the people who, if they killed, they literally could walk away from it. Don't believe me? John is out there in Dallas fighting for the life he no longer has to try and find justice in a system that wasn't designed to give him justice. This girl was robbed and deprived of a situation based on her ailments that she had no control over. And because of a lack of sympathy, a lack of education, a lack of just common sense, she's been exposed to something that she'll probably never recover from. But if she does, because she's a young black queen, the princess herself, she's going to be a queen. I can tell you now, she's going to be a judge, and she's going to be out here laying the fucking hammer. I hope this inspires her to become some type of fucking supernova. Baby girl, listen to me. Be great, because when they catch my ass, I need you to get me out. You are not the consequence of Florida. You will be the resolve of Florida. I believe in you, girl. You're going to be the judge. You're going to help you're going to help proactively, retroactively correct the curve and straighten up this justice system so that it actually serves everybody and just not a bunch of rich people. Felicity Huffman. But if I must push forward, I will push forward with a short story. If that camera goes out, guys, I'm staying here, okay? Let's talk about your boy. Oh, and before we move on to the Turner guy is a scumbag. Don't think this is a one-off thing. Like, he's been reprimanded 6 times, and he was actually probably asked to leave the force early because they got tired of paying lawsuits off. I hope this girl sues them. $60,000, put it in her bank account, IRA fund or something like that. Let it store up. Let it be the college fund. Get her that money. I'm sorry you had to make $60K that way, but hey, you better off for it. At least they didn't kill you. Let's talk about Justin Trudeau. And I want to start off this conversation by saying I don't give a fuck. Is that hard to believe? I'm going to say something extremely controversial and something that'll probably get me banned off of YouTube. My name is Hero Abdullahi, and I was not provoked by anybody or any powers to say what I'm about to say. Blackface is wrong. Come on. Give it to me. Give it to me. Hate me. Hate me. Hate me. At least hate me to my face. Blackface is wrong. No shit, Sherlock. And them sugarcoating it with we're calling this brown face because it was an Arabian night. They from Africa. I don't know where I don't know where Arabia is. Is that in Africa? Egypt isn't in Africa. So it's blackface. Don't sugarcoat it. Don't put a bow tie on shit and call it pretty shit. It's still pretty much shit. Justin Trudeau is wrong. But you want to know who else is wrong? The Virginia governor, who when asked why he did blackface, and his response was so he could win a talent show, and when asked what was he performing in the talent show, it was the Michael Jackson Moonwalker. To which then the reporter asked him, can you moonwalk? And for a second, the governor of a whole entire state looks to his left, then to his right, and tries to gauge how much space he would need to demonstrate his ability to do a moonwalk. You mean to tell me that I'm not going to give him a tougher time than Justin Trudeau? No, wait, there's more. Let's talk about Stephen King, the congressman who literally said the Native Americans being raped, pillaged, and plundered was to the benefit of America. You want me to talk shit about Justin Trudeau when we literally have a national football team called the Redskins? You want to know something that all three of those things have in common? That Justin Trudeau doesn't have in common with them? Besides being a racist idiot? Justin Trudeau apologized. Donald Trump lied about a hurricane in Alabama and nearly caused a mass evacuation of a state. He still hasn't apologized for that. You want me to be upset about someone who at least owned their shit? I can't be. Yeah, he was wrong. You wanna know who else was wrong? The two fucking Indian people in the picture with him, who then later on, when interviewed, were said, this was fine. That is how sunken in the bottle they are. They actually believe that shit was okay. And why wouldn't they? When you go to a school where there's only white people and 4 Indian people, you don't want to be the oddball out. You don't want to make people feel uncomfortable for making fun of your people. It's the rare occasion when you meet that guy who has a white girlfriend and she says the N-word, and you approach and she says no. In fact, isn't there an athlete going through that right now? If I find a picture, it'll go. When you as a person of color don't understand the pain, the aggression that comes with it, being black, and you allow your light-skinned counterparts to walk all over that, you're fucking it up for the rest of us. That's the one time that you represent us all. You have a moral obligation to snuff racism out and suffocate it. No one will judge you, other than a racist. But the reason why I don't give a fuck about this conversation is because no one wants to have a conversation about what to do about it. Oh, blackface is wrong. No shit, Sherlock. Now that we know that it's wrong, maybe we should get some reparations for all those times that people were doing it in movies or using it as propaganda. Robert Downey Jr., Iron Man. He did blackface. He is the richest movie star in the country right now. Iron Man. RIP. Stop asking black people how they feel about being discriminated against. The feeling is they're being discriminated against. If you're not willing to talk about how to better their situation, make this situation a situation that is actually holds weight in being punished, then stop talking about it. There's literally a whole country where they paint their faces black and call it Christmas. Like 12 guys are slaves. That's crazy, but it happens. And no one seems to be bothered by it. And it's not, now they're saying that, it's ash. They're making it look like ash. Shut up. Shut up. I hate you all. But I'm not totally without reproach. I'm a fan of Dragon Ball Z. Fucking fan. I love it. This is Mr. Popo. That's blackface, y'all. It's well known that people of color have always been treated as second-class human beings. Stop asking us how it feels to be second class. Start telling us when you gonna do something about it. When you gonna back me up about this talk about reparations. When you gonna go talk to that person. Stop asking black people how they feel about blackface. Start asking the person who's doing blackface, parents. The person they voted for. Their spouse. Their boss. The police officers in their community. Start asking them. Because it's simple for us. It's painfully simple for us. We don't like it. We don't fucking like it. But hey, we in this thing. We rolling out. This has been so like cobbled together because that camera's gone. So I'm looking at y'all now. Y'all all I got. And if that shit stop, it's game over. It's just gonna be audio only, baby. But let's wrap this up because this is the second time I've done this. I forgot the third point I wanted to make. I was gonna end it with a banger, but I forgot. So we're just gonna move on and go to the closing. Like, share, comment, subscribe. I appreciate you guys. It really helps out the channel. I've been doing a lot of moving around. I've been doing a lot of like giddy up and going. So like if you're reading this, you're listening to this, thank you so much for commenting, sharing, and just liking this. It supports the channel. It lets me know that people are actually like listening to this shit. The monotony can be like cumbersome, but when you have a passion to do something, you're gonna do it first for yourself, then second for anyone who's just willing to listen. So I appreciate you guys coming out to listen. This has been the Identity Booth. My name is Hero. I don't know if I said in the beginning because I'm doing this shit for the second time, but now you know, and that's half the battle. G.I. Joe. Yeah. Never watched an episode.